What's up everyone, Clark Glassford, founder of My Practice Interview, where I help you land your dream job. And today we're talking about how you get a wage increase, a salary increase in your current job. Forget about looking for another employment opportunity. Forget about trying to get hired in a second job. So you're doing 1, 2, 3 jobs at the same time just to max your salary and your earning potential, or coming up with some sort of side hustle. You want to explore every option you have to increase your salary in your current job. And today I've got this video filled with super tips as to how you can do that before you ever get to the stage of having to make that decision to look for other employment. So I want you to follow these tips and hear me out today. These are some good ones. These are excellent for you to increase your salary in your current role. If you're here for a reason. It has to do with interview coaching, interview advice, how to write a resume, how to prepare for that interview. You have come to the right place. Each and every week I'm posting new videos. So make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell. But you know what? We got to get into it today. Are you ready? I sure am. Here we go. So we're here today to talk about how you increase your salary in your current role. And I've actually broken this down into 2 scenarios as to where you may find yourself within your career, within your organization. So I'm going to break this into 2 scenarios and talk about the different approaches you can take within each scenario in terms of increasing your salary in your role. So the first scenario here is asking for a raise, asking for a promotion. So we're in this scenario where you have the ability to either ask for that raise or ask for that promotion. And in terms of you understanding the timing of doing that and what to ask and when to ask it. So tip number 1 on this is make sure you're prepared to ask. Yeah, what do you mean be prepared to ask? Yeah, simple, ask. You need to be prepared to ask for that raise, to ask for that promotion, to increase your wage. Here is the key tip out of all of that is that no one will advocate for your career within your current employer more so than you. You need to be prepared to ask for it. If you're not prepared to ask for it, nobody else will look to you to say, I'm just going to give you a wage increase. I'm going to give you a promotion. You need to put yourself out there that you're ready for the next step in promotion, in terms of wage, all of that stuff. So make sure you're prepared to ask for it. Tip number 2. Know when to ask. So what do you mean by that, knowing when to ask? Well, in each organization, every organization, there are different kind of cycles of when certain things happen. There are promotional cycles, there are salary increase cycles. You know, perhaps you can't ask for a salary increase until you're through probation, maybe after 6 months of employment. Maybe there are annual performance reviews that are conducted each and every year that happen at the end of the year or the first of the new year. You need to understand how the inner mechanics of that organization work when it comes to raises and when it comes to promotions. So make sure if you're new to that organization, you understand those processes. And if you're current within that organization, you've been there for a little while, you also understand those processes. You've asked the right people those questions before you kind of jump in front of a manager and say, please, 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 I want a raise. Tip number 3, research. Make sure you're researching what you are worth. And how do you do that? Well, you look at websites like payscale.com, glassdoor.com, and you're looking for similar roles that you're currently occupying and what they're worth within various industries. Try and draw natural comparisons between your job and similar jobs in similar industries so that you can see what you're worth and to see if you're on par, you're below, maybe you're above. And so when you're asking for a raise, you're coming from a well-researched point of view. You can say to your boss, listen, boss, I'm asking for a raise because I feel I'm worth this amount. The market review I have done shows that, you know, comparable jobs within this industry are worth X. That is how you start in terms of understanding what your wage is worth. Also, make sure you're looking at, if you can, what those internal pay scales are within your organization. Each organization has them. Good for you to know that if you can do some research around that to see what room you may have to grow on your own pay scale, if there are other pay scales you can jump to. So make sure you are doing your research. Tip number 4, sell yourself based on accomplishments. So if you're looking for a raise, great. If you're looking for a promotion, double great. But what are you backing that up with? You need to be able to go to your employer and say, look, I feel I am ready for this raise. I feel I am ready for this promotion based on all this awesome stuff I have done. And guess what? I have some examples here of all the cool, super awesome things that I brought to this organization, that I've done in this organization, that have benefited this organization. So make sure you are selling yourself based on accomplishments. Those are the 4 tips, and here is a super tip that I want you to remember before we move on to the next scenario here. The super tip is try and ask for that promotion or raise right after you've just knocked it out of the park, a super big accomplishment. Nothing puts more value on yourself after you have delivered on something of significance. So when you're in that wave of success, you're riding that wave of success, that is also another opportunity for you to ask for that raise or that promotion. Great tip, great way to kind of use that momentum to get you to where you want to go. So that's scenario number 1. Well, what's scenario number 2? Maybe you're maxed out on your salary, or you're just not eligible for promotion. So what do you do then? Okay, well, I got some tips for you there. So if you're maxed out on salary or you're not eligible for promotion, then what you want to start looking at is other opportunities within the organization where you can develop your skill sets. Okay, so first, look for training opportunities. Maybe you got to go back to school and do something formal. Maybe you can pick up some different training within the organization. Those are great ways to start developing your skill set so you're ready to take that next step. Look for challenging assignments, things like that that can kind of push the limit. Maybe they're not right within your job description, but they're showing that you're looking for other opportunities to, again, demonstrate your commitment to the organization, but also expand your skills. And then look for different, perhaps, work opportunities within the organization. Maybe there's a special project. Maybe a certain department in the organization is short on resources, and you can go there, learn, and expose yourself to that environment. And again, increase your value to the organization. So that's tip number 1, gain more qualifications. Number 2 on this, consistent performance, consistent attitude. So nothing will sink you quicker on increasing your salary within an organization or looking to increase that salary within an organization if you have inconsistent performance and inconsistent attitude. So as an employer, when I say no to something, what I'm looking for with you and I'm saying no to an employee is how they respond to that. And if they respond by kind of putting their head down and being upset about things, that is a good indicator that perhaps this may not be somebody that's ready to take that next step, or perhaps that isn't somebody that's ready to be in my organization for much longer. So be consistent with your performance. Show them that you are a rock star in your organization. Consistently meet your targets and exceed those targets, and always show that positive attitude. And the last one here is make sure your performance reviews, okay? So not just regular performance, but your performance reviews are outstanding, and you're getting constant feedback. Okay, so it's not just waiting for those annual reviews to come in or whatever quarterly reviews to come in from your supervisor, however that looks. It's also making sure you're seeking feedback. Where can you improve? What can you do to help the organization further its goals, its mission, whatever it is? Make sure you're asking for ways that you can improve and getting that feedback. That will help make you an employee within that organization that is indispensable, that is someone that they don't want to lose. So performance, 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 attitude, absolutely key. Look for opportunities for training and development. Those are all things that if you're maxed out on your salary or you're not eligible for promotion, those are some things you can do in the meantime to get that upward momentum when you're ready for that next step. And of course, at the end of the day, if you've explored all of these tips and it's still just doors closed, doors closed, doors closed, there is no room to grow, there is no way to increase your salary, well then maybe it is time to start looking for a different job. And of course, if you've watched my other videos before, when you move to different roles, your salary tends to increase anywhere between 10 and 30%. It's just how it works in the job market, in that job world. So you know that in your back pocket. If you were to move, you may be able to get that. Now, moving for salary is not, of course, everything. Job satisfaction, well-being, work-life balance, those are all important things that may cause you to stay with an employer. But if you're just not satisfied at the end of the day, a job move usually does indicate an increase in salary. So those tips, that's it for this week. That is how you increase your salary in your current job without having to look elsewhere, without having to take on different jobs and multiple jobs, and just to keep your salary in an upward trajectory. Make sure you squeeze every rock within your organization to make sure that you can max out your salary for you, so that you are a happy, well-paid employee. That's it for this week. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, check out all the freebies in the description below and all the different services that I offer for you. And like I always say, keep on rocking those interviews. Until next time.